Hi, everybody. It's LindaG, and I'm here today with our favorite person, Sterling.
Good morning, everybody. Yeah, hello.
Good morning. Good
And,
morning.
and this is a special day today, but I can't remember why. There's something
Me
special about
neither.
today.
I was
Oh,
trying
it's
to.
it's your
Oh,
birthday.
do 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 do.
Happy birthday. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you, and thank you guys for the wonderful accolades and cards and flowers. Can I mention those are from you and your wife?
Sure,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah.
And these are from Daniel Finalde, and uh, it's just wonderful having so many great people. But your wishes is what I really enjoy.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
All the
by the
color.
way, this is the last birthday I'll be celebrating.
Oh, there you go. Well, I think you count backwards at some point when you're a woman. You start counting backwards.
I'm shutting it down, my friend.
But all the colors around you look very nice.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, so we want to thank Linda and Daniel for getting these questions. Linda goes through all of them.
Exactly. I think there were 400 to 500 on our show. It's crazy. So, it takes her a while. It takes her hours to go through everything. Yeah.
Yeah. So, it's interesting, this first question, because I had a vision. I'll tell you after you give your opinion.
Okay.
Will Hurricane Lee be a threat to Florida's East Coast?
Yeah, Will. It looks like Lee is going to really impact a large part of the East Coast, kind of a very long storm. So not for me, it's not very short impacts at the coastline. It's going to be very long up the whole eastern seaboard, including Florida. Yeah, looks like it's going to be impactful.
Yeah, I didn't see it hitting land, although it may hit land in the north.
That's what I see. Yeah.
But I even saw New York getting some effect. But what my guide showed me was a dinosaur. And the tail, you know how the tail can be pretty dramatic?
Sure, they whipped the tail.
Like if the tail got whipped and caused some damage on the East Coast. That's what I saw.
That's a good analogy. Absolutely. Yeah, I side with that.
Okay, because right now it went down to a 2.
Yeah, but it's just going to be like I saw it impacting the entire coastline, the East Coast. So
and that trough or whatever that is that they were hoping would push it off, because it's sitting still right now, that thing's going to pass.
Yeah, I agree.
So yes. Okay, you guys, thank you for the question. Will 45 be off the ballot because of the 14th Amendment?
No, there's going to be some challenges to all that. They're going to try to get them off in certain states, but it's going to the Supreme Court. They're going to keep them on. It won't happen. Yeah. Okay. Maybe, if in future presidential elections, I feel like there end up could be an amendment to the Constitution that'll even make the 14th Amendment more robust. Okay. So but right now it's not going to happen. He'll be on the ballot. And I've always said my team says he'll be the GOP nominee, but Biden will win. So
yeah. And I hate to say this, I'm glad he'll be on the ballot because I know he's going to lose. And the other thing is he definitely, they just had a thing out on the news. He pays for a lot of those polls that say neck to neck. He paid for that poll. So a lot of these polls are paid for by Russia. So yeah, don't believe anything, just go for it. Jeff Jackson is a popular, compassionate, and ethical congressman for North Carolina. He's about to be gerrymandered out of his district by new voting map. What is his political future?
Is that North Carolina?
North Carolina.
North Carolina. Unfortunately, what I do see him getting gerrymandered out, so he's going to be out. But then he runs again, like in the next election, and he wins. So it's a little bit of like a ping pong ball kind of action. I'm being bounced out and I bounce back in. So, because it looks like for some reason the gerrymandered maps stay the way they are, but then very soon after the election, they get changed. So that's why it's more fair in the next round. So, yeah.
Cool. Sterling, I have a personal question. I keep feeling that I attract bullies in my life path. I have had bullies slinging me out throughout various times in my life. I had bullies picking on me at school, and as an adult, I've had a nurse, managers, and other staff harassing me in the workplace. Is it my fault?
Not your fault. This is all of me about a very centric life lesson to be able to stand up. So it's like taking back your personal power. Most of the time when bullies are in our lives, that's a tapping on your shoulder from the universe. You need to stand up for truth, stand up for yourself. So that's a repetitive lesson until you really kind of stand up. Yeah, not your fault. It's a life lesson, but you can get through it.
Thank God I got a little bit of that Durham anger in me, because
Mhm.
I will tell somebody off and in a New York Minute, and sometimes when you stand up to them, they cowtail and get out.
Yeah. By the way, a funny example. I'll just share a little funny example regarding bullying and all that. I was reminded years ago, sometimes if somebody says, I don't like your dress, if you're not maintaining your personal power, it'll ruin your whole day. If you're in complete control of your personal power, you might have a response like, I have 6 more like it at home. I'm wearing another one tomorrow. So
Right.
that's completely taking back your personal power. So that's an example. Bullies are really there to kind of teach us a lesson to manage
Right.
our personal power. Yeah.
I would say something very sweet like, well, I don't like your face. So, okay, Elon Musk recently stopped the Ukraine attack on Russia fleet by refusing to allow his engineers to turn on Starlink satellite. What is the real reason for him to do this?
It was done as a favor to foreign powers, offshore powers, in exchange for financing that he's gotten for his companies. So it was like, you need to return the favor, inhibit Ukraine, their advance. Yeah. So
Okay.
unfortunately, we understand who the offshore countries are and the powers are. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, Sterling. Oh, does LindaG's father have a message for her?
Oh, that's an interesting one, a personal one there.
A
Yeah.
personal one. He died in
Uh
2015.
Yeah. Your parents are always around you every time I
Yeah.
talk with you, which is interesting. Um, by the way, your father is acknowledging your birthday today and a lot of love, right? A big hug. But
Oh,
one of the things your father, I feel like he's very compassionate now on the other side. Every time I see him, and it's almost like he wants to make up for making things overly hard when you were growing up, and now he's
right,
going to try to make things easier. And
right,
it's also, I get right now from your father, it's almost like he wants to acknowledge all the gifts you have that he didn't acknowledge when he was alive. So
right.
it's like, who you are, what your gifts are, that almost feels like he had a shield up at the time. Yeah.
Well, he had a really tough life too. Not that I'm
Yeah.
making excuses, but he got beat bloody by a father who was an alcoholic and paranoid schizophrenic.
Interesting. Two other things come up when I kind of ping your father here. One is almost like you have a number of babies following you around in a good way, but it's almost like babies that were somehow involved in like NICU, like natal intensive care unit, but almost like following you around like a mother duckling, like ducklings and a mother duck kind of a thing. So it's like nice energy. It comes up around, it pings around you. And
Wow.
also there's something coming up here with I think it might be a level above your father, if that was grandparents level, but
Yeah.
like a handicap or something here with, I don't know what this is all about, with a walker or something of that nature, but it's like a level above you that's also a male energy. You might need to think
Well,
on that, but there's
dad was
some.
in a wheelchair. He broke his back in a motorcycle accident.
Okay. And because it pings around like a one level up as well. That pings around one level up. So I wonder what's going on with that with another grandparent, a grandfather.
Yeah, because both grandfathers, well, the other one, he died in his 90s, but he was a drunk. I
Okay.
never knew him, but my dad's dad died at age 57, but he
Okay.
was in a hospital.
Yeah, there's a
He was.
handicap reference coming up here
I had
around
a
father
grandmother
energy.
that
Yeah.
walked with two canes. She was on
Oh,
the Comanche
okay.
side.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, it was pinging around the male energy, but that's interesting that it was the female. So yeah, it's pinging around the next level up from you. Yeah,
Okay. Okay. All right. Thank you.
sure. Thank you.
Yeah, he made a big deal out of our birthdays when we were young, him and mom. Christmas, Thanksgiving, birthdays, Easter. And then when we got older, he's like, I don't know what all the fusses are. I said, the fuss is because you set us up.
Right,
You
right.
made us excited, so we passed it on to our children.
Exactly.
Okay, did the letter Fani Willis sent to Jim Jordan scare him enough to lay off, or did it tick him off?
No, that's actually kind of the bully scenario there, but no, it didn't tick them off. It didn't stop them. It's just more of the same. So it's
Yeah.
like a ping pong ball bouncing off the Titanic or something. Yeah,
Is he trying to come up with something to answer with?
100%.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel he's doing his work, looking through things.
And well, I feel like 45 is working with him in concert, saying, here's the next slugfest we have to have with Jim Jordan. You know, with Fani Willis, here's what we have to do. Yeah.
You know, I feel Marjorie Taylor Greene, Kevin McCartney, Matt Gaetz, Jim Jordan, all are on a hotline with Trump, constantly telling them what to do.
Mm-hmm.
Do psychedelics provide healing for PTSD and trauma? Will research be allowed to study the benefits of psychedelics?
Yeah, in the future, I see a lot of good research. I mean, there's already ongoing research right now, but I feel like it's taken on by like westernized medicine in a much deeper way to understand what the effects are. I mean, psychedelics have been studied for decades, but it does feel like we're getting a turning point here where you actually be able to see at the genetic level what the effects are on the body. So next number of years, 5-10 years here, it feels like it's going to take much more seriously by the medical profession. Right now, it's still the wild, wild west a little bit. So there are people have good effects and some people don't have good effects.
Well, I know they're studying mushrooms.
Yeah, and they've already shown that some people it does help them with PTSD, so war veterans and other things of nature, but there's still so much they don't know yet. So it's coming. It's coming.
Are we in the near future going to see improvements in our medical and dental practices, specifically with reasonable timelines for appointments and costs?
Yeah, and that's a problem around the world, right? So you can look at any country, and that's how the effects on the population. That's a number of years off, but the reason it's a number of years off is for more funding to come into place and then better run programs. So it's going to take a lot of countries here many years to get that under control. But if I push out 8-10 years from now, looks like it feels much better to everybody.
Oh, great.
So there's more resources. I also see more efficient handling of patients. So diagnostics are faster and treatments faster. And so a number of factors come in here that make it better.
That's great. Do the guides see any significant droughts or fires in the Appalachian region in the coming months or years?
And that's like the Appalachian Mountains sort of a thing, Appalachian Mountains. And that goes across many states. Yeah, so there's a drought effect across those states, sure. So big water events, fire events, yeah, there are. I'm not going to tell you it's going to wipe it out, but that area, from what I'm being told, is not going to be certainly spared than any other area of the nation. No.
Right. Someone asked me that too, and my guide said yes.
Yeah. So yes. Yeah.
Regarding Admiral Byrd's diary, did he really have an inner Earth experience?
A lot's been written about that too. Yeah.
I don't know what the experience. Can you briefly?
Yeah, he wrote a book. I'm not completely familiar with it. I'm just going to what my team's telling me, but he wrote some sort of a book that described his ability to go in the inner Earth, down inside the Earth, and had many experiences. Now, I can definitely validate there were a lot of extraterrestrial experiences because he actually was showing bases and things like that. I think where it goes all off track for my team is they talk about maybe half a dozen other things in the book, whatever he wrote, like, for example, running into the lost 12 tribes of Israel, the lost tribes of Israel. That's where I think it went off the rails a little bit. So yeah. I can absolutely confirm there were extraterrestrial experiences and he did see bases, that kind of thing. But there's a lot that was written about that my team's saying it was over the top. So, okay. Yeah.
Will Colorado have a harsh winter this winter?
I get, unfortunately, yes. It might be a little delayed, but it looks like it's kind of a yes. Yeah. So it almost like I feel like people might be saying, "Oh, look, we escaped it. Oh, we're fine." And like it's here. So
yeah. Will Navarro go to prison, or will he be let off by the judge involved in the case?
I don't see him getting off. No. For me, it looks like prison time towards the end of next year. So like
Ooh.
towards the end of 2024, when everything catches up with them. And yeah. He's one of
Well,
those that will definitely end up behind bars.
okay. Well, and you know, it would have been so easy just for him to show up and say, I invoke my fifth. That's all he had to do.
He doubled down on everything in the press. Even after everything happened, he kind of repeated all the lies. So yeah.
Yeah. Will the Great Lakes and the Mississippi River become one through flooding? My sixth grade teacher told us this would happen in our lifetime back in the 1960s.
I don't see that happening. No, I don't see them combining due to major floods. Looks like they'll still
It
maintain
had happened
separation.
before, or something happened.
Well, I think the question is whether the Great Lakes will join the Mississippi River. Is that what the question was? Yeah, my team saying not going to happen. Yeah,
okay.
Not going to join.
A murderer is on the loose in Chester County, Pennsylvania. His name is Gilo. It's been a week. Will they find him soon?
Yeah, I get very soon.
That's what I was feeling too.
Like we're probably even on top of it. We're doing this on Sunday, September 10th. It might be today, Monday. They're right on top of it. Yeah.
I felt like he would be found soon.
Mm-hmm.
Sterling and LindaG, can Biden override Tuberville's blocking of military appointments? If not, is there a workaround that can open up that blockage?
I get there's going to be a very creative meeting of the minds. So a lot of people get together and they say, how can we work around this? So it's almost like playing a little bit of a shell game. I think there's 600 appointments that are being held up right now, 600. And I feel like they're going to be able to get 400 of them through by playing like a shell game, saying, well, we're going to separate these 400 and maybe even like reduce them down one level so it doesn't require approval. So like you sneak them in the back door. Okay, these 400 don't need approval. They're going in. And then I just got a cold chill when I said that. So yeah, they're going to get very creative here.
And then when they get in, they'll upgrade them.
Exactly. That's what I'm getting. And I just got a cold chill again. I think when you said that. So,
yes.
But it feels like 400 of the 600, but the most important ones. And then the other 200, they're going to be able to make that happen too somehow. But I feel like the 400's first. Yeah.
Well, the people in his own state are very unhappy with him doing this.
Yeah, it's crazy. He's putting the whole nation in danger. So, yeah.
So I wasn't sure that makes total sense, because I felt the president and the higher realm doing something to make, they're trying to think of something, but they're going to do something to force this hand. That's what I felt. That makes total sense. Why do most polls show 45 and Biden running a virtual tie?
I think we touched on that earlier, right? In the show.
We talked about it off camera.
Oh, we did. Okay, I forgot we did that. But yeah, I mean that there's manipulation of the polling data. You really can't believe polls at all these days, and that was even demonstrated in the last election. But I will tell you, and I'll just reemphasize, my team's saying it's still going to be a close election because of all the lies. Biden's still going to win, but I can't tell anybody it's going to be a landslide. It's not.
Okay.
It's going to be very close again. Be millions of votes ahead for Biden, but it's going to go right down to the wire again.
Well, they just put the Times, or somebody just posted something. I was telling them Sterling about it, that apparently that one poll that he was neck to neck with Trump was paid for by Trump.
Well, there you go. Yeah.
So what do you see for Gloria Johnson, one of the Tennessee Three, who is now running up against Marsha Blackburn?
No, it was Gloria Johnson, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
the blonde.
Yeah, I know. I know. Actually, I see her winning. I see her replacing Blackburn. Because it feels like, I feel like everybody's really going to throw Blackburn out. Like we've had enough. Like we've had enough of the nonsense. And yeah, good for her. I mean, looks like a replacement there in that seat. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, people aren't going to put up with this. You're going to see a lot of these Republicans getting kicked out of their seat.
You will.
Greetings. My son 12 has recently been seeing what he describes as spheres on the ground that look like liquid metal, usually black or sometimes white. He says they seem to be showing themselves to him outside the house, and he sees them as having consciousness. They sometimes hide from him when he spots them, but another time he said one was picking up sticks. They have eyes which blink, but no arms or legs. They glide, not walk or roll. We have visited relatives' house for the first time that's in a remote area of San Diego County. That's where he first saw them, and every time he did, he tried to show me, but I never saw anything. His older siblings didn't see anything either. I'm now concerned because they seem to have followed him to our house. Could you please tell us what they are?
My team's telling me those are animals. So those are almost spirit orbs. Those are animals that are following him around, and it may be related to the family and to other animals that lived in the areas. So that child is attracting animals from the spirit realm. So that's nice. Nothing to be fearful of, but it's interesting that many animals are being attracted to him from the spirit realm. You know what? I just got here. It looks like his destiny in life will be to work with animals. So whether he's a vet or something on nature, because I haven't really seen that many animals in an orb form following a child. So that is absolutely part of a life purpose. Yeah.
Yeah, this first time I've heard of this.
Yeah, I don't see it very often, but that's a great example of how a lot of times when it's your destiny, your blueprint, things will be put in your path. You'll start experiencing them very early in life. Yeah.
With the fire in Maui and elsewhere, the larger hurricanes, the record-breaking heat in the oceans, and on the land, flooding, etc., why are workers for federal, state, and private businesses being forced back into the roads from successfully working from home now, of all times? It seems to be just needlessly accelerating pollution, more carbon recklessly pumped into the air. In the face of horrific weather disasters, will the federal government change the course and take the lead in reducing rather than increasing cars on the road?
Well, this is a transitory effect. So this is still coming out of a post-pandemic, situation here. We're in a post-pandemic economy to some respects. But I do see within like 2 years here, federal government offering guidelines here that do create more of a hybrid environment for workers. So we're just kind of going through a period here where it's becoming now it'll become a mandate to have more hybrid workforces because it's better for the economy and lower pollution and lowers the overhead on working mothers having to go into the office, that kind of thing. So all these things within 2 years here, I do see federal government legislation giving good guidelines for hybrid work environments. So part home, part office. Yeah.
I also see, my son and I were talking, and I had a flash yesterday. I feel 4-day work week.
Yeah, no, I think that's within a few years. Within a few years here too, they show that their companies are far more efficient and productive with 4-day work weeks. Yeah.
Will any politicians start to take hunger seriously? It is not happening yet in my state. They are still advertising us to beg from churches. Food lines are immense.
Oh, this taking a homelessness, is that what we're talking about?
Food. People need food, and when are we gonna?
Okay. Starting even like this week, believe it or not, I see more state and federal programs starting to ramp things up. For example, you have the actors strike going on and around the nation, but I see it looks like Congress and even the federal government jumping into some sort of supplemental food programs here to help a lot of individuals who are being hurt. So that's coming. I think we're almost on top of that, I'm being told.
Fantastic. And food prices are going to go down. I'm sorry, but I do see them going down.
Yeah, they're gonna fluctuate like the stock market because of what's happening in Ukraine, right? With the grain shipment problems and that. So it's almost like when you have massive supply disruptions.
But
it's
they
like the
also
stock market.
overdo it. They overdo it. A lot of that, even with eggs and stuff, they overdid it.
They did, yeah.
Okay, first it was the internet, now AI, which is set to transform society. What's the next big thing that will transform activity or society in our lifetime?
100% space travel.
Okay.
So space travel for every citizen that wants to be involved in it, but space travel also for scientific experiments, advances in medicine, energy, a lot of things to be able to do out in space that you couldn't do so much here on Earth. So yeah, space travel, and you can already see the initial legs of space travel for common people coming up, you know, with Virgin and Jeff Bezos' venture and whatnot. So yeah,
Right.
Blue Origin, yeah.
Now, this question isn't here, but I'm dying to know what you said. I've read on this too. That Wisconsin judge they're trying to impeach. She's the
Oh, is that the one that just came in?
She just came in. She hasn't even heard a case, and they're trying to vote her.
Her the end of her name is like ICWZ or something. I forget her.
Something. It's a long name.
I know who you're talking about. Yeah. It does look like for some reason they're going to be able to sideline her temporarily,
That's
like
what
for
I got.
a month or two, and then it goes back through some kind of court process.
That's what I said.
Where they say, you know, you can't do that. Because it has to do with the vote of the people, right? She was voted in by a majority,
big time,
by like 15 or 18 or 20%, whatever the margin was. And so yeah, it looks like it's a little bit of a shuffle back and forth. Yeah, to me. Yeah.
Well, if they got rid of her, then the governor, who's Democrat, can put another Democrat in there like that. So they know that's not going to work for them. So they want to keep her in there, but shut her up. She can't vote on anything. But then that makes it 3-3. So nothing's going to get done.
They want to sideline her, but and it looks like for me they will sideline her for 2 or 3 months or something, and then she'll be back at it. She'll be back in there.
And I have a friend that knows her, works with her, and I said, you tell her to hang in there, because I see her maybe even going all the way up to the Supreme Court, but I see her challenging it and winning. And I also see, because they did this, it's going to hurt the people sitting in office, because the people don't like you saying, no, you can't have the person you voted for.
Exactly.
Which Republicans are doing left and right. No, we decided no. What? Why did you put it on the ballot if you're going to say we decided, just like Trump? He decided he won. Okay, thank you. That's exactly what I got too. I just wanted to
By the way, I've said this before, but what the Republicans have done, they've spiraled into a party that's a cult. But the interesting thing is that every day that goes by, there's more and more what I call a punch list of things now that we have to correct going forward. You know, whether it's amendments to the Constitution or how districts are handled, voting districts. But they've given us a very long list of all the things that need to be corrected. And it's almost like the refounding of our country way back when is almost like another cycle. We have to reinvent the country and make sure the safeguards are here for the next, several hundred years.
Yeah. Absolutely, yes. Like you said about that 14th Amendment won't be used, but it will be stabilized within the Constitution.
I believe there'll be another amendment that'll come, they'll bolster that 14th Amendment. Yeah.
Can you imagine if the Democrats did to this Republicans, like if someone was dutifully put in office and they just said, no, we said, no, you can't have them. Can you imagine how they would say Constitution? It's just like that Ron DeSantis getting rid of people who were voted in. He just got rid of them because he didn't like their opinion.
Exactly.
Well, that doesn't go positive for them. Okay. Do you see anything coming up this week?
We touched on a few of them here, but I do see, like, for some reason, new federal food programs coming in. We just started to touch on that. There's something coming up here in the press where it's gonna surprise people. So that's good. Some supplemental food programs of some kind here. More activity in the RICO case. So I see more people being pulled into that RICO case in Georgia. So you're going to see more people in the news, whether they're going to come forward and say, I'm going to now turn state's witness or whatnot. There's more RICO events coming up. Also, something new regarding a COVID vaccine. Now, I think the new COVID vaccine is going to release mid-September here.
Yeah.
But I see some ancillary announcement, like for children, like something coming up around this, like, and here's a version that may help children as well. And I think RSV is a respiratory virus, but
Yeah.
there's something connected here for me with the new COVID vaccine and something for children coming up.
Okay.
And then last but not least, we talked about the storm. So that storm's going to be with us for a number of days here, the East Coast storm. So
Yeah.
everybody just prepare for it. Get to higher ground, take it seriously is kind of my
Yeah,
message.
and there's more, there's a couple of more starting as we're speaking.
It's going to be pretty much a constant flow for the next number of years.
Right.
So, and that's all due to climate change. Yeah.
Yeah. You were saying, you know what I wanted to say to you, and I don't know, you probably read this on your show. I think that Fani Willis isn't going to be able to get everybody all at once and do a gig. I just don't see that.
Oh, I agree with that. I think they've already talked about that it's impractical to try everybody all at once. So they are going to divide up the cases, but they'll be divided up in a way that still works for for Georgia. So
okay, okay, because I see her working with the judge, but I like that judge. He was very honest. He said, I just can't see how, because it would cause such pressure to the jury and stuff. And also they can all say we didn't have a fair trial because there was too many people. It could probably be overturned.
Right.
So, but I see Jack getting down on his January 6th thing.
Yeah, I think there's more coming. There's more indictments coming from Jack based on new information. And they never stopped investigating behind the scenes. So it wasn't kind of like one and done, like here's the indictment, we're done. I feel like the wheels were still turning behind the scenes of another indictment that's coming. So they're still doing the background homework on that before that gets released. Yeah,
because even though Lindsey Graham and Mike Gates and all those guys, I think that's in Jack's territory. I think Jack's going to hear that.
I agree.
Okay.
I agree.
Do you have anything your guides want to share?
Yeah, a simple message this week, but it's very straightforward. And the message is take time to create kind of a safe and loving environment around you. It makes it easier for your guides and angels to communicate with you. So for example, if you're always in a state of chaos, wherever you're at, find a place where you can just get to some kind of peace, some kind of a spiritual, loving environment. It makes it a lot easier for your guides and angels to communicate with you. They will thank you. Okay. So, wonderful. Makes it much easier to communicate. Yeah.
Well, you got a direct line, my friend.
There you go. By the way, we're taking a little time off, just so you know now. So actually, in the ensuing week here, so we won't be around next weekend, but so that's the weekend of the 17th, and then we'll be back. I think we're back together on the weekend of the 24th. So no disruption like in our schedule. Yeah, I just thought I'd mention that for those that might be looking for a show from our channel. Okay. And I just mentioned quickly for those who need to reach me, you just go to sterlingpsychicmedium.com, look for the book a session tab. It's very, very easy from there.
Awesome. Thank you so much, my friend.
Absolutely.
Well, of course, it's a delight.
Wonderful spending time with family with you. So it's all good.
Thank you. And I just found out from my pre-op that they don't want me to have the COVID vaccine or the flu until 2 weeks after my surgery. So I'm going to be wearing a mask today. I'm going to I can't afford to get sick because they'll cancel that surgery. Yeah,
I think it's still because we have a triple threat going on right now with the influenza and the new variant and then the RSV running around. It's a good idea for everybody to be kind of cautious.
Yeah, my sister got COVID with the boys. And they survived, thank goodness, but it lasts for a while. It takes a while. So
it's not something you want to encourage.
No. All right, you guys, thank you so much.
Wonderful. Great spending time with everybody. Have a great Sunday. Yeah.
Thanks.